The model CP102 control panel consists of the following components. Here we have our weight indicator. This is used to display the weight and to set the set points. When we press the alarms key once, we see this number 1 here. This shows set point 1. We press it again, it shows set point 2. We press it a third time, we go back to our display weight. If we want to change our set point values, simply press the alarm button, press the peak, and that enters. Now we're in set point 1 as indicated by the light. We travel over to the left, change our value. When we've changed the value, we press the alarm key again. It stores the value and goes to set point 2. We can change our set point 2 value as required. Press the alarms key again and the meter goes back. One thing to watch is when setting set point values, if we change the leftmost digit by accident, you will see as we travel up it goes negative. We never want a negative value shown here. But if you do go negative, simply continue to press the reset button and the negative will disappear. And then we can continue to enter and enter. When the scale is filling, you will see as the weight increases, when it reaches set point 1, the light in the left side of the panel will activate, and when set point 2 is reached, the 2 in the upper right will light up. That gives you an indication that the meter is working correctly and you're hitting your set points. The filler will fast fill up to set point 1, at which point when it hits set point 1 it'll kick down to slow fill, and when it reaches set point 2 it will stop filling. The readout display is zeroed using the 0 push button here. It's quite typical to see a weight on there of 0.01 to 0.03. Now the other control features, here we have the on-off switch. This starts the filling cycle. The discharge push button dumps the weigh hopper. The hold run switch. In the hold position, if there's a bag on the clamp, it won't dump. In the run position, it will dump. This particular panel has a bag counter. Every time the scale goes weigh complete, it increases by 1. Okay. And shown here. And to reset, we push the reset button on the front. The indicator lights are as follows: power on when the panel is turned on, fast fill for when it's fast fill in the fast fill mode, slow fill mode. Good cycle is a very important light. This is an indicator to the operator that there is the minimum 1.5 seconds of slow fill required to gain consistent weights. It's very important that the cycle light come on during every weighment. When the target weight is reached, the weigh complete light will come on, and when the scale dumps, we see the discharge light come on. This particular panel has a bag clamp timer. When the foot pedal is pressed, the bag clamp latches in place, and after the scale dumps, it times out and releases the clamp. Inside the control panel, if we open the door, we have the weight indicator, the bag counter, which has instructions for changing the battery inside of it every 5 years. We have our switches, our indicator lights, and our timer. Inside the panel, on the left side of the terminal strip, we have the fuse marked F1, 3 amp main fuse, and as shown here, when the neon indicator light on the fuse is glowing red, that means the fuse has blown. Simply reach in, lift up the blade switch, and remove the 3 amp 5 by 20 millimeter fuse. Reinstall it, push it in to restore power. Over on the right side, as described earlier, we have the blade switch which unlocks the meter for calibration. We have our load cell connection down here as described, typical wiring. Here we have our PLC. This controls the functions of the scale, and beside it is the analog timer module. This is an option that has been supplied on this panel. This timer module is used for externally adjusting 4 main timers inside the program. The hopper delay timer is the time required for the hopper door to close before the scale starts to feed. The start delay timer is a bounce timer for when the scale starts to feed. The analog spike timer is the bounce timer which controls the cycle light to ensure consistent weights, and the discharge timer is the dump time for the weigh hopper. The PLC is a very useful tool for diagnosing problems. The panel, the operating manual comes complete with a description of the different inputs. In this case, input 0 is the on switch. Input 1 is the hold run switch. Input 2 is the discharge push button. Input 3 is the set point 1 input from the weight indicator. Input 4 is the set point 2 relay from the weight indicator. Input 5 is a hopper limit switch. On this scale is going to be jumpered out. There is no hopper limit switch, so number 5 is on all the time. Number 6 is the bag clamp switch. That is the switch on the bag clamp that triggers the scale to dump. And number 7 is the foot pedal or knee switch, which is used to activate the bag clamp. The outputs are down on the lower portion here. 200, output 200 is typically the on light, but on this scale is the output to the bag clamp timer. Output 200 is the 201 is the fast fill, 202 is the slow fill, 203 is the weigh complete, 204 is the discharge, and 205 is the good cycle light. Here we see the program number. The ladder logic program on this for this unit is CXP0EH-2.